Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Friday, January 29, 2016. Join us for the next 45 minutes as we deliver today's top stories around the globe. I'm Daniel Razon.
We are here to give you carefully gathered stories, assuring you of accurate, truthful, and balanced newscasts. I'm Angelo.
We are also seen in 1,360 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through www.untvweb.com. This is
Y News.
Here are the headlines. MMDA exempts trucks enrolled under the terminal appointment booking system from track ban beginning February 15. The Bureau of Customs seizes 118 million peso worth of illegally imported rice. Senator Cynthia Villar sees the Senate resolution to override President Aquino's veto on SSS Pension Hike as a hopeless case.
Lieutenant Colonel Ferdinand Marcelino moves to Quezon City Jail Annex in Camp Bagong Diwa in Taguig City today. And the Quezon City Local Government Unit orders the closure of Balintawak Cloverleaf Market amid protests from vendors.
First in the news, trucks that enrolled under the Terminal Appointment Booking System or TABS will be exempted from the existing track ban beginning February 15. Tell us why, Mon Hokson.
The whole stretch of Road 10 in Manila has always been jam-packed with heavy trucks during the window hours when they could proceed with their delivery from the port area. Since the Terminal Appointment Booking System or TABS has been implemented at the Manila International Container Terminal or MICT, port congestion has been minimal. TABS is an online booking system intended for trucks of delivery from in and out of the port area. In the past, truckers need to endure the long queue just to get a reservation from MICT. Today, it is done through the online system. Trucks will proceed to the port area only on their appointed schedule of loading. With this system, the port management will be able to control the truck's entrance and exit. That's why the government has decided to exempt those enrolled under the TABS from the existing track ban for faster delivery of products.
Kung merong appointment system, i-exempt natin sa track ban. Di natin sinasabi na mawawala na yung track regulation. Sinasabi lang natin, pag may appointment ka, exempted ka sa track ban.
Traffic will not be a problem with this system because there will be a designated lane for the trucks except in EDSA. Truck drivers also need not worry of traffic violations as long as they will present a printout of their TABS booking to the traffic enforcer. For now, truckers are not yet encouraged to book an appointment through MICT during the hours of the truck ban until they have issued a memorandum.
That does not mean also na pwede silang, kahit may appointment man sila, na pwede silang dumaan kahit saan. Doon pa rin sa track route. Pero pwede lang silang dumaan doon kahit na may track regulation tayo dahil may appointment sila.
The track ban is effective from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. except on weekends. Delivery trucks of perishable goods and agricultural products are not covered by the ban. Meanwhile, no price cut is seen yet for basic goods. Truckers say the recent oil price rollback has only slight effect on the basic products. And although port congestion has been resolved, their expenses remain the same, especially when stuck in a heavy traffic. Once the exemption on the track ban becomes effective on February 15, there could be a possible adjustment on the price of basic commodities. Mon Hokson reporting for Y News.
Motorists in EDSA are experiencing moderate to heavy traffic this rush hour Friday. Mon Huxon is at Edson North Avenue to tell us why. Live. Yes, Mon, good evening.
Yes, Kuya, it's payday Friday and some malls along EDSA is on sale, and this means that heavy traffic is expected along shopping malls. And we advise motorists to take alternative routes to avoid choke points. Let us check the traffic situation. Vehicles going south will encounter light to moderate traffic starting from EDSA Monumento until Balintawak. The intersection in Muñoz helps ease the traffic congestion in U-turn slots in EDSA northbound. But vehicles making a U-turn in Muñoz going congressional is causing traffic for southbound vehicles. Moderate to heavy traffic from Bansalangin to North Avenue all the way to EDSA Quezon Avenue and Nia Road. Vehicles will slow down approaching Kamuning flyover and also in Cubao area, especially on the yellow lane or the bus lane. Moderate to heavy traffic in Annapolis going Ortigas area. Moderate traffic in Mega Mall, slowing down in EDSA Crossing, Boni and Pioneer, Mandaluyong all the way to Makati area. Meanwhile, vehicles going north starting from Taft Avenue in Pasay will experience moderate to heavy traffic. Moderate traffic to Service Road going South Luzon Expressway. After Magallanes Interchange, vehicles will slow down in Ayala until Guadalupe Orense in Makati. Moderate to heavy traffic in Pioneer, Mandaluyong, EDSA Shaw Boulevard, Mega Mall and EDSA White Plains. Light to moderate traffic in Cubao but moderate traffic starting from Nia Road, EDSA Quezon Avenue flyover all the way to North Avenue. Traffic will also slow down approaching here in EDSA North Avenue all the way to Muñoz area, but light traffic going Balintawak and in Monumento. Reminders to motorists, number coding is suspended during weekends but will be implemented again early Monday morning starting from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And that's the traffic update. Back to you, Kuya.
Thank you, Mon Huxon, reporting live from EDSA North Avenue. Still in the news, the Bureau of Customs seizes more than 100 million peso worth of cargo at the International Container Port. Tell us why, Joan Nano.
About 118 20-foot containers of imported rice were seized by Bureau of Customs at the Manila International Container Port. The cargoes amounting to 118 million pesos is consigned to Kalumpit Multipurpose Cooperative. They were shipped to the country on different dates in November and December last year. It was discovered that the rice were illegally imported from Thailand after the National Food Authority confirmed that the shipments were not secured with import permit.
Automatic ito, huli ito dahil lang ating patakaran ngayon bago pa dumating ang shipment, dapat may import permit.
The BOC and NFA will discuss the process of auction so that the supply and price of rice in the market will not be affected.
Kasama namin sa computation na ngayon lahat ng ino-auction na lumalabas sa merkado para pag gumawa kami ng computation, yung Food Security Committee at yung NFA Council, naka-input kung ilan yung volume ng na-auction.
NFA said there is no additional amount of rice to import because their buffer stock is sufficient until mid-year. Joanano reporting for Y News.
Various government agencies in Mindanao region have taken the necessary steps to minimize the adverse effects of El Nino. Joey Domingo will tell us why.
The present El Nino is the third warmest phenomenon ever experienced since the 1900s. For this reason, various government agencies in the Mindanao region such as Pag-asa, DOST, National Food Authority, and the Department of Agriculture have taken the necessary initiatives to mitigate the adverse effects of El Nino. According to Gerry Pedrico, chief of Pag-asa DOST in the region, El Nino affects different parts of Mindanao in varying months.
Grabe ang temperature din sa Mindanao, 35 degrees Celsius or more, umabot sa 37 degrees Celsius.
The Department of Agriculture, on the other hand, says they are doing their part in implementing cloud seeding operations in different places of Mindanao, although they are prioritizing Davao del Sur, which is most affected by the drought within Region 11.
Naka-plan out na po yung ating mga cloud seeding operations all over the Philippines. And lahat po yun, yung mga forecast po ng Pag-asa that our El Nino will prolong until June 2016.
There is no declaration yet from the provincial government for a state of calamity despite the lack of rain. But in case El Nino affects their industry adversely, the Department of Agriculture is ready to help farmers through programs currently being implemented.
We have yung tinatawag na rainwater harvesting technology. So yun po yung mga irrigation facilities na binibigay po natin sa ating yung mga areas na feasible siya for collecting water. Like yung ating mga small water impounding projects or yung SWIP. We also have yung tinatawag nating small farm reservoir.
In general, despite El Nino making its presence felt, it has yet to bring any adverse nor irreparable damage to the people, particularly to the farmers in the region. From Davao City, Joey Domingo reporting for Y News.
The government does not foresee any impending retrenchment of overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East despite the decline of oil prices in the global market. Nel Maribuhok tells us why.
The Department of Labor and Employment is closely monitoring the situation in Middle East, particularly the possible effects of declining oil prices in the state of employment of foreign workers in the said region. According to the statement of DOLE Secretary Rosalinda Baldost, they do not see any major retrenchment happening that could possibly affect the Filipino workers in Middle East. According to Presidential Communication Operations Office Secretary Sani Coloma, DOLE is confident that OFWs will continue to be employed under existing contracts despite issues concerning politics and oil prices in Middle East. Coloma also said, this has already been assured with the announcement of the Southeast policy, which had no apparent effect on the level of employment of OFWs since it also proved they are highly qualified for their jobs. Former National Economic Development Authority Director General Arsenio Balisacan explained that even though some countries benefited from the low oil prices, it will impact other major economies.
In general, the decline in the sharp decline in oil prices benefit us, but one has to also worry about where that will bring many economies that are so dependent on oil revenues. Some of the major oil exporters now are suffering quite badly, and the fiscal deficits of these countries are putting them into serious economic difficulties.
At present, there are more than 2.5 million Filipino workers in the Middle East and almost 1 million OFWs in Saudi Arabia. Nel Maribuhok, reporting for Y News.
Senator Thio says the resolution to override President Aquino's veto on the proposed SSS pension hike will not push through. Tell us why, Darlene Basingan.
Senator Thio, the principal author of the proposed SSS pension hike, believes that the Senate resolution seeking to override President Aquino's veto on the bill will never make it in the current Congress. The senator says she understands the reason of some senator for opposing the resolution.
11 lang kami. Siyempre mahihiya naman sila silang i-override ang veto ni President, lalo na sa House of Representatives.
However, Villar says there is no hope for the bill in the 17th Congress.
Ipapasa namin next time uli. Pagbalik namin sa July. I-refile.
Nevertheless, the senator calls on the SSS to improve their services. She adds that the Congress is always ready to listen to the requests of subsidy or increase in premium.
Ayoko lang nung pagbigay ng increase in premium agad. Parang ang dami naman pwedeng gawin to improve operations.
Villar says she respects President Aquino's views why he vetoed the bill. However, she also understands the sentiments of the senior citizens who depend solely on their pension from SSS.
Mas tayo mga babae kasi housewives tayo eh. Alam natin kung ano nararating ng pera sa bahay. So ako, I can feel for those na may 1, 2 at 2, 4. Kasi ako nagbabudget sa bahay namin. So I know. Pero mga lalaki, minsan hindi sila masyadong sensitive sa ganun. Diba? Kasi hindi man sila nagbabudget sa bahay.
Senator Villar says among the reasons why the resolution to override the veto couldn't make it because the Congress has no enough time and quorum will be impossible for now. The lower house needs 2/3 votes to push for the said resolution. Darlene Basingan reporting for Y News.
Social Security Systems says they can grant the pension increase if the government will help fund it. Grace Cassett will tell us why.
The Social Security system once again reminded the public that they are incapable of giving the proposed pension increase among their members. According to Attorney George Onqueco, they have previously explained the threat of SSS bankruptcy. However, Onqueco says there is still a way to increase the pension of their members if the government will provide them the amount of money for the said increase. Based on SSS computation, they need 56 billion pesos in the first year of implementing the increase.
Mga ating mambabatas, kung ito ho ay talagang panukala nila, sinabi na rin namin ito yung mga subsidy. Sana ho, kinausap nila ang DOF, kinausap po nila NEDA, nagpulong-pulong ho, kaya ba ito ng gobyerno? Sapagkat sa amin po, hindi ho namin mautusan ang ating mga Pangulo.
To date, the only subsidy they are receiving from government is their tax exemption. BIR does not collect the 12 billion pesos supposed tax of the SSS. They are also using this amount to run their operation expenses.
So may subsidy na ho implicitly ang gobyerno dahil hindi ho kami natataksan.
Onqueco asked Congress to enact a bill which specifies where SSS can get funding in case they need it to prevent bankruptcy.
Yun po ang sinasabi namin, pag may panggagalingan ng pondo, mabibigay po ang mga karampatang benepisyo.
Meanwhile, the principal author of the bill is determined to override the president's veto on the proposed SSS pension increase in the last session day on February 3. Grace Cassen reporting for Y News.
Former Special Action Force or SAF Chief Police Director Getulio Napeñas has reacted to the picture and video presented by the armed forces during the Senate's Mamasapano reinvestigation. Tell us why, Darlene Basingan.
Detached from reality of the Mamasapano operation. This was how AFP's Major General Angelo de Leon described Police Director Getulio Napeñas after a photo showing him smiling and wearing civilian clothes was shown on the screen of the Senate Session Hall. The Armed Forces of the Philippines said the photo was taken during the Oplan Exodus. They also presented a video showing the SAF commandos using private vehicles during the January 25 operation. In a press conference, the SAC Special Action Force Chief explained the reasons behind the video and picture. Napeñas admits using private vehicles during the Oplan Exodus but explains that such were used so as not to compromise their operation in the area, where some people might tip off Marwan about their presence.
4 na civilian vehicle yung gamit-gamit namin para hindi nga po malaman ng taong bayan na may papasok dyan na Special Action Force kung uniform vehicle yung gagamitin. Dahil pag nakita yun, alam na nila na may trabaho yung SAF dito at once na nakita dyan sa Saripagwak or any doon sa dadaanan namin, ite-text yan doon sa loob. Then you end up empty-handed again.
Napeñas also defended why he was wearing civilian clothes during the operation, saying that being in uniform at the time would make the people in the community suspect. He also denied that he was smiling when the picture was taken.
Mayroon akong itinuturo, kitang-kita yung kamay ko doon sa baba. And all of us, nakafocus something else doon sa lamesa. Yes, nakasibilyan kami. Pero yung best helmet and baril namin, nasa sasakyan lang yan. And we can change in a matter of 3 to 5 minutes.
When asked if he thinks the president is also responsible for the debacle that left 44 SAF troopers dead, Napeñas says yes, since the president was the one who approved the operation. Darlene Basingan reporting for Y News.
The League of Cities of the Philippines appealed to the Commission on Elections or COMELEC to exempt them from the existing gun ban and allow them to have security details. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Before the 2007 national elections, the father of now San Carlos City, Pangasinan Mayor Julia Resuello, who was then the city mayor and was running for vice mayor, was shot to death. Since then, he and his brother, who are holding and also running for local elective positions, has been receiving threats.
Marami ng threats na mayor, maginta, hindi ka naabot ng eleksyon. Yung mga lawless elements, pwedeng magdala ng barel kami, wala man lang kaming kaproteksyon sa sarili namin.
Zamboanga City Mayor Benk Limaco has also been receiving threats since the Zamboanga siege happened. These are just few of the reasons why the League of Cities is asking COMELEC to grant them an exemption from the existing gun ban and allow them to have security details. The group has agreed in their meeting today to formulate a resolution echoing the said request and submit it to COMELEC.
If you can interview some of our mayors here, more urgent na yun.
COMELEC Resolution 10015 states that during the election period, aside from law enforcement agents, exemption to the gun ban is also given to the President, Vice President, Senators, and Congressmen. Meanwhile, senators, congressmen, and provincial governors who are not candidates are allowed to have up to 2 security details. COMELEC promised to study the appeal of the city mayors.
I-bank natin yan para malaman kung anong magiging pasya ng COMELEC and bank. Kung binigyan ng pahintulot ang ating mga governor at saka mga congressman, hindi ko makita kung bakit hindi rin yung ating mga mayors.
Nel Maribuhok, reporting for Y News.
Lieutenant Colonel Ferdinand Marcelino and Chinese national Yan Yishu have been moved to a new detention facility after a week of confinement at the Anti-Illegal Drugs Group or AIDG since their arrest. Would you tell us why, John Nano?
After a week of being detained at the PNP AIDG detention cell, Lieutenant Colonel Ferdinand Marcelino has now been transferred to the Quezon City Jail Annex in Camp Bagong Diwa, Taguig City. According to Police Senior Superintendent Antonio Garjola, the AIDG facility only has small space, thus uncomfortable.
May existing existing MOA ang PIDEA and BJMP when it comes to drug cases, drug-related cases. So kahit nasa custody pa ng apprehending unit, it can be turned over to the BJMP.
Likewise, their workload will be affected due to lack of personnel should Marcelino stay in their facility. Even Marcelino is worried about his security at the AIDG premises.
So also for his protection, kasi nag-aalala siya na baka daw anong gawin sa kanya dito sa AIDG.
PNP Chief Police Director General Ricardo Marquez has given his directive to transfer Marcelino because of the reports that the facility is not conducive for him. Marcelino went through a medical exam before he was transferred. His blood pressure was checked twice. His first was 160/100, but after taking his maintenance medicine, it normalized to 130/100. His convoy reached the Quezon City Jail at around 2:00 p.m., escorted by AIDG and PIDEA operatives. The two were wearing the orange t-shirt with hands cuffed while being brought inside the BJMP building. They will stay at the Quezon City Jail Annex until the court issues final directive as to where they should be detained. Marcelino and Yishu were arrested in a drug raid inside a townhouse turned Shabu lab in Santa Cruz, Manila on January 21. They are now facing charges under Section 8 or manufacturing of dangerous drugs, Section 11 or possession, and Section 26 or conspiracy under Republic Act 9165 or the Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Joanano reporting for Y News.
The Supreme Court has ordered Palawan Regional Trial Court or RTC Branch 52 to proceed with the trial of former Governor Mario Joed Reyes in relation to the killing of broadcaster and environmentalist Dr. Gerry Ortega. In a unanimous decision of the Supreme Court, Second Division, penned by Associate Justice Marvic Leonen, the court says Reyes' challenge on the result of the preliminary investigation conducted by the Department of Justice has become moot since the Regional Trial Court itself has already made a judicial determination that probable cause exists to try him for murder. The warrant of arrest issued against Reyes and his subsequent arraignment following his arrest last September signified that probable cause against him has been determined by the court. Reyes and his brother, former Coron, Palawan Mayor Mario Reyes, allegedly masterminded the killing of Ortega last January 24, 2011. They are currently detained at Puerto Princesa City Jail. Stall owners and vendors at Balintawak Cloverleaf Market once again staged a protest against the Quezon City government's decision to close down the market. Grace Cassin will tell us why.
Copies of closure order from Quezon City Hall are posted in all corners of Cloverleaf Market, informing its vendors that the city government is closing down the market. The closure order stated 12 violations, which include the violation against National Building Code, Sanitation Code of the Philippines, Environmental Code, and the Market Code, among others. It also noted that the market is already old, has no clear fire plan, and has no proper water supply. Officials from Quezon City government, on the other hand, did not grant media interviews in relation to the closure of the said market. Police officials who posted the closure say they were merely following the order of the Quezon City government.
Nagkaroon na ng closure order na gano'n na pinahinto mo na magnegosyo sila hanggat hindi nako-comply yung mga dapat i-comply nila.
Meanwhile, vendors went furious over the posting of the closure order. They brought out placards along their children and staged a protest outside the market. Aling Arsenia, who has been a vendor in the market for decades, said they are ready to put up barricades to block the closure of the said market.
Dito kami nabubuhay. Anong gusto niya? Magnakaw? Anong gusto nila? Masyadong ginagawa ng aping-api naman kami.
Magugutom mo kami. Marami kaming anak. Saan namin kukunin ng ang kakainin ng mga anak? Nagbabayad kami ng bahay, ilaw. Dito lang kami kumukuha ng ibabayad, pambili ng bigas. Saan kami kukuha niya kung isasarado to?
As of now, vendors stand by their stalls as reports that sheriffs may arrive to impose the closure of the market. Grace Cassin reporting for Y News.
Y News will be right back. Back in the news, most part of the country will have fair weather this weekend. Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, says the easterlies is the prevailing weather system that affects the eastern section of the country. There will be light to moderate rains in Quezon Province and Bicol region, while Metro Manila and the rest of the country will be partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated thunderstorms. No tropical cyclone is seen to affect the country, but the northeast monsoon, or amihan, is expected to strengthen on Monday. A World Health Organization official announces that the level of alarm of the spread of the Zika virus is extremely high. Meanwhile, Taiwan's President Ma Ying-jeou ignores United States criticisms and visits the dispute island of Ituaba in the South China Sea. Nunez, tell us why.
In Taiwan, President Ma Ying-jeou flew to a disputed island in the South China Sea on Thursday to reaffirm Taipei's sovereignty, ignoring U.S. criticism. Taiwan said the trip was aimed at promoting peace. The United States, Taiwan's biggest ally, on Wednesday called Ma's trip extremely unhelpful, adding it would not do anything to resolve disputes over the waterway. Vietnam's top official in Taiwan said Hanoi resolutely opposed Ma's visit. The Philippine Foreign Ministry said all parties had a shared responsibility to refrain from actions that could increase tensions. In Greece, exhausted migrants continued to wait at a camp near the Greek village of Idomeni on Thursday, January 28, in harsh weather conditions, for the Greek-Macedonian border to open and pursue their journey to the prospect of a safe haven in Western Europe. The number of migrants arriving at Greece's northern border has continued unabated. Men, women, and children covered in blankets have been forced to sleep rough in tents or next to bonfires in the open, braving the freezing temperatures as they remain in limbo at the no man's land. The European Commission warned Greece on Wednesday, January 27, it could face more border controls with other states of the free travel Schengen zone in May. if it does not fix serious deficiencies in its management of the area's external frontier. And in Switzerland, World Health Organization WHO officials Thursday said the Zika virus is spreading quickly in the Americas and the level of alarm is extremely high. Speaking to WHO members in Geneva, WHO Director General Margaret Chan said cases have been reported in 23 countries and territories in the region. The WHO said the virus may infect 3 to 4 million people in the Americas by the end of the year. Ann Nunez reporting for Y News.
Workers are putting finishing touches to the stadium that will host this year's Super Bowl. Meanwhile, Serena Williams moves on to the Australian Open finals where she could equal Steffi Graf's 22 Grand Slam titles. Aaron Romero will tell us why.
Serena Williams' break from tennis at the end of last year to just chill appeared to have done her a world of good as the rejuvenated American bulldozed her way into the Australian Open final on Thursday. The 34-year-old world number 1 totally demolished 4th seed Agnieszka Radwanska in the first set before she emphatically sealed her place in a 7th Melbourne Park final with 3 aces in the final game in the 6-0, 6-4 win. Every time the American has made the final at Melbourne Park, she has gone on to win the Daphne Akhurst Memorial Cup. Williams withdrew from the last 4 months of 2015 after she was bundled out of the US Open in the semifinals by Italy's Roberta Vinci, ending her hopes of emulating Steffi Graf's calendar Grand Slam in 1988. The American, however, can join Graf on 22 Grand Slam titles, the most in the Open era, if she beats Angelique Kerber, who considers herself fellow German Graf as her idol in Saturday's final. Meanwhile, hundreds of workers were painting, sodding, and wiring Levi's Stadium Thursday in Santa Clara, California, in preparation for the 50th anniversary Super Bowl game. The Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers will face off on Sunday, February 7th, in the most watched sporting event in the U.S. The stadium is a state-of-the-art facility opened in 2013, featuring solar panels and green roof with vegetation covering a waterproof membrane. NFL Director of Operations Eric Finkelstein said, "A number of technology advancement will add to the fans' experience. Prime seats for this year's Super Bowl will set fans back upwards of $30,000, with cheaper higher-level seats going for $3,800. Rates for 30 seconds of advertising time during the game are approximately $5 million. Aaron Romero reporting for Y News.
Members Church of God International or MCGI and the City Environment and Natural Resources are now working hand in hand for the province of Pampanga. Ann Nunez will tell us why.
Sapang Balen Abacan River is considered as one of the most polluted rivers in Angeles City, Pampanga, due to the amount of trash that were collected by the local government. It measures 8 kilometers, covering 9 barangays in the said city. City Environment and Natural Resources Office or CENRO said more than 3 tons of trash were collected in 2014 and 2015.
Regular naman po nating nililinis yan pero hindi po natin maiwasan dahil po may mga kababayan po tayong minsan talagang wala pong discipline. Ang mangyayari po kasi yung solid waste mag-accumulate dun sa pinakamababang barangay. So ang problema po yung pinakamababang barangay.
To help solve CENRO's problem, the agency conducted a cleanup drive in cooperation with the Members Church of God International. CENRO said the effort of the public and various sectors is a big help in maintaining the cleanliness of the river.
Itong activity ito po, ito yung regular cleanup na ginagawa po ng CENRO sa pagkikipagtulungan po ng mga iba't ibang organizations such as yung Dating Daan at saka yung mga iba't ibang people's organization.
CENRO is continuously calling on the public to refrain from throwing garbages in public places, especially in rivers and canals, to prevent flooding. Together with the UNTV news team in Angeles City, Pampanga, this is Ann Nunez reporting for Y News.
Guitars with historical and celebrity connections are set to hit the auction block. Grace Caston will tell us why.
Nearly 300 instruments with both historical and celebrity connections will be up for auction by June 6 in New York. At the heart of the sale is a wide assortment of guitars.
The guitars range from true antiques from the 1800s to rarities from all different periods within the 20th century, going from the most classic and handsomely crafted acoustic instruments to wild and crazy electric guitars.
One highlight has an Eric Clapton connection.
The white guitar behind me was one of 4 made by C.F. Martin Company, the oldest guitar manufacturer in the United States. A treasured name, Martin Guitars. This is one of 4 made to the specifications of Eric Clapton and signed by Mr. Clapton right inside the guitar.
A rare Gretsch set would be perfect for any Chet Atkins or country music fan.
We not only have this beautiful guitar, but we have its original traveling case in white and hand-tooled leather in a cowboy sort of motif, and that is echoed with the original amplifier.
Ettinger said the sale will unquestionably feature the finest collection of Larson Brothers instruments, one of which was an instrument owned by Johnny Cash and then gifted to a young Bob Dylan who played it. U.S. singer and songwriter George Benson is letting go of 20 of his personal instruments.
This particular one is an Ibanez or Ibanez, but unlike Ibanez's that one can buy in a store, this was made totally for George.
Some of the top plots include an electric guitar once owned by Eddie Van Halen, which is expected to fetch between $50,000 to $60,000. And a rare 7-string guitar owned by Tony Mottola is estimated at $70,000 to $80,000. The 3-part sale will also feature a collection autographed guitar and numerous music-related items. The auction will be held on February 27 in New York. Grace Casson reporting for Y News.
And those are the reasons behind the news. January 29, 2016. I'm Daniel Razon.
Reasons we delivered to you as they unfold. I am Angela Lagunsad.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Thank you for watching Y News.